If you're over 60 and waking up without morning wood, it's not your fault. It's likely your blood flow. But here's the surprising part. Wine, yes, wine, might be part of the solution. Not pills, not surgery, just specific types of red and white wine that may actually support healthy circulation where it matters most. Hi, I'm Dr. James Ellison, urologist and men's health expert with over 30 years of experience helping men reclaim strength, vitality, and confidence naturally. Most men think alcohol is bad for sexual performance, and yes, in excess it absolutely is. But certain wines, in the right amounts, can actually do the opposite. They help open blood vessels, boost nitric oxide, and enhance blood flow, the very mechanism that powers a strong erection. In the next few minutes, I'll walk you through 5 types of wine that don't just taste good. They may help restore your ability to perform, connect, and feel like yourself again. And tip number 3, it's so effective it could rival what medication does, without the side effects. Stay with me. This might change the way you think about wine, aging, and your sex life forever. The effects of prescription pills without the side effects. But before we dive into the 5 wines that can reignite your performance, it's important to understand why erections tend to fade after 60, and how wine of all things can actually help restore blood flow. Where it matters most as men age, especially beyond 60. It's common to notice a gradual decline in erectile strength. But contrary to what many believe, this isn't just about aging. It's about circulation. Erections rely heavily on blood flow. When the blood vessels that supply the penis begin to stiffen, narrow, or become inflamed, it becomes harder for blood to enter and stay there over time. This reduced flow leads to weaker, shorter, or inconsistent erections. The culprit behind this isn't always low testosterone or lack of desire. Often it's endothelial dysfunction. When the inner lining of your blood vessels stops working efficiently, that lining is what produces nitric oxide, a molecule that tells your blood vessels to relax and open wide without enough nitric oxide. The veins and arteries in your penis can't expand. And if they can't expand, blood can't fill them. No blood, no erection. Here's where wine enters the story. Certain types of wine, especially red, are rich in natural compounds like resveratrol, flavonoids, and polyphenols. These plant-based antioxidants help reduce inflammation, improve the flexibility of blood vessels, and stimulate nitric oxide production. Think of it as giving your blood vessels a tune-up. They become smoother, more elastic, and better at delivering the surge of blood required for a strong erection. Some wines even mimic the vascular effects of ED medications, but without the side effects or dependency. In moderate amounts, the right wine can enhance blood flow, not only to your heart and brain, but directly to the penis. It's a natural, enjoyable way to support sexual function, especially for men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond. But not all wines are created equal. Some have far more powerful benefits than others. And the first one on our list is not only rich in heart-protective compounds, it may be one of the most effective wines for restoring blood flow where it counts. Let's begin with Pinot Noir, the heart helper. One Pinot Noir, the heart helper. I'll be honest, when I first started recommending Pinot Noir to my patients, many of them looked at me like I was joking wine for erectile dysfunction. But the truth is, Pinot Noir isn't just a pleasure to drink. It's one of the most potent natural allies we have when it comes to restoring blood flow and reigniting sexual function in men over 60. What makes Pinot Noir so powerful lies in its deep red skin. Grown in cooler climates, this grape develops extraordinarily high levels of resveratrol, a compound that acts like a vascular guardian. Resveratrol helps your arteries relax and expand, supporting healthy blood flow throughout the body, including to the penis. This is key. Erections depend entirely on the ability of the blood vessels in the penis to open wide and trap blood effectively. Without that no amount of desire or stimulation can create a strong, lasting erection. I've seen men who thought their best days were behind them regain confidence, intimacy, and performance just by making small changes like adding a glass of Pinot Noir to their evening routine. Of course, it's not about drinking to excess, it's about using wine purposefully. A 5 Oz glass with dinner paired with nutrient-rich foods can gently improve circulation over time. More flexible arteries. Better nitric oxide production and reduced inflammation. All lead to one thing, a stronger, more reliable erection. And that alone can change everything from your mood to your relationship to your sense of identity as a man. But what if there was a wine that, not only opened blood vessels, but also had the power to strengthen how long that blood stays where it belongs? That's where the next wine on our list comes in, a bold red, known for its deep structure and even deeper effect on sexual stamina. Let's talk about Cabernet Sauvignon. If you're still with me and this is resonating with you, just drop a number 1 in the comments. I'd love to know you're here and taking this in. Now let's move on to the second wine on our list. 2 Cabernet Sauvignon, the circulation king. There's something commanding about a glass of Cabernet Sauvignon. It's bold, deep, and confident, exactly the kind of energy many men want to feel again in their own bodies, especially when it comes to sexual performance. And the connection isn't just metaphorical. Cabernet Sauvignon, as it turns out, is one of the most effective wines for enhancing the blood flow that drives a strong, dependable erection. The secret lies in its powerful concentration of proanthocyanidins, plant compounds that improve vascular elasticity and help reduce oxidative stress on blood vessels. When I explain this to my patients, I often compare it to clearing out a garden hose. If the lining of your arteries is stiff, narrowed, or inflamed, blood struggles to reach the penis in the volume and speed required for a full erection. Cabernet helps relax those vessels, improving circulation and restoring the dynamic pressure needed to sustain arousal and performance. What strikes me most is how men describe their transformation after introducing this into their routine. One patient told me, "It's not just the erections that came back, it's the way I feel about myself. I don't avoid intimacy anymore. I look forward to it that matters." Sexual health after 60 isn't just physical, it's emotional, relational, and deeply tied to confidence. Cabernet Sauvignon, when enjoyed in moderation, supports all of that by nourishing your cardiovascular system and empowering your sexual response in a way that feels natural and sustainable. There's also a certain richness to Cabernet that pairs beautifully with lean meats, dark chocolate, or even a quiet moment at the end of a long day. It becomes part of a ritual, not just for pleasure, but for reclaiming a part of yourself that you thought was gone. But if Cabernet is the king of circulation, the next wine is the warrior for testosterone. It brings back the fire, not just in your blood vessels, but in your drive. Let's move on to Shiraz 3. Shiraz Syrah, the testosterone tonic. There's a certain heat to Shiraz. It's bold, spicy, a little wild, and for men over 60, it may be exactly what your body's been missing. I've often said that a glass of Shiraz feels like it stirs something deeper than just the senses. And biologically, that might be exactly what it's doing. Awakening dormant testosterone pathways and restoring your sexual fire from the inside out. What makes Shiraz unique isn't just its flavor. It's the presence of a powerful plant compound called quercetin. Quercetin is known to support testosterone production, especially in aging men, whose levels have steadily declined. And when testosterone dips, so does your ability to respond to sexual stimulation, both mentally and physically. Shiraz helps support this vital hormone, but it doesn't stop there. It also acts on your blood vessels like the previous wines. It contains antioxidants that promote nitric oxide release and enhance vascular relaxation. But there's something especially potent about the way Shiraz works. In combination, it improves blood flow, enhances desire, and supports the very hormone that fuels male sexual function. I've seen men regain not only their erections, but their edge, their energy, their sense of masculinity, by simply giving their body what it needs to remember how to perform. One man told me, Shiraz brought the spark back, not just in the bedroom, but in the way I carry myself. That kind of shift is profound, because when you begin to feel like yourself again, everything around you changes: your relationship, your confidence, your quality of life. Shiraz is passion in a bottle. But what if you prefer something a little lighter, more refreshing, but still powerful enough to support sexual health? You might be surprised by what a good rosé can do. Not just for your heart, but for your performance. Let's explore. Mystère. If you're still watching and finding this valuable, go ahead and type the number 1 in the comments. I want to know you're still here with me now. Let's keep going with the 4th wine on our list, Four Rosé, the surprising white-pink hybrid. I'll admit, when most men over 60 think about wine that supports sexual function, rosé probably isn't the first thing that comes to mind. It's light floral, often associated with summer afternoons or casual sipping, but don't let its delicate color fool you. Rosé can quietly deliver some powerful benefits. For your circulation, your confidence, and yes, your erections. What makes rosé special is that it blends the qualities of both red and white wines. It's made from red grapes, but with less skin contact, which means it still carries many of the polyphenols and flavonoids known to support endothelial health and nitric oxide production. That's the key to improving blood flow to the penis. When nitric oxide levels rise, the blood vessels in your body, and especially those in your sexual organs, relax and open wider. The result is the improved blood flow, stronger erections, and a more responsive sexual system. Overall, rosé also tends to be lower in alcohol, which is a subtle advantage. Too much alcohol can numb sexual sensitivity and lower testosterone. But rosé offers enough beneficial compounds without tipping that balance. It's gentle on your system while still doing the work beneath the surface. I often suggested to men who are easing into this lifestyle change, or who want something they can enjoy in the early evening without worry. One of my patients, a retired teacher in his late 60s, told me he started sharing a glass of rosé with his wife on their porch every evening. It started as a habit, he said, but somehow it brought us closer, physically, emotionally. And yes, my performance improved. That story reminds me sometimes the most powerful shifts come from the simplest changes. Now, if you're looking for a wine that packs all the blood flow benefits we've talked about, plus a unique ability to fight stress-induced erectile issues, our final wine might just be the hidden champion. Let's talk about Malbec 5, Malbec, the libido lifter. There's something earthy and grounded about Malbec. It's rich, smooth, and quietly powerful, much like the effect it can have on a man's body when used with intention. I've had countless conversations with men in their 60s and 70s who've told me the same thing. It's not just about getting an erection, it's about feeling alive again. And for many of them, Malbec has played a surprising role in that journey. Malbec is loaded with polyphenols, natural compounds that don't just support circulation, but also have a remarkable effect on stress and inflammation that matters more than most people realize in men over 60. One of the silent killers of sexual performance is chronic stress. Elevated cortisol levels can constrict blood vessels, suppress testosterone, and weaken your ability to respond physically, even when the desire is there. Malbec, with its unique antioxidant profile, helps counter that stress and protect your vascular system. It gently relaxes both the body and the mind, clearing the way for more consistent and satisfying erections. And here's something else I love about Malbec. It's a wine that invites you to slow down, to savor. And often that's when real connection starts, when you're not rushing, not overthinking, just being present with yourself or someone you care about. One of my patients, a widower who'd recently started dating again, told me that Malbec gave him more than just better blood flow. It gave him the confidence to be intimate again without fear or shame. That kind of transformation isn't measured in milligs or lab tests. It's felt in the heart, and in those moments of closeness, we often stop believing are still possible. Now that you know which wines offer the greatest benefits, the next question becomes crucial. How do you actually use wine the right way to support sexual health without overdoing it? Let's talk about that next. How to use wine safely and effectively after 60. Knowing the benefits of wine is one thing. But using it wisely, especially after 60, is where the real power lies at this stage in life. Your body responds differently than it did in your 30s or 40s. That doesn't mean you have to avoid wine. It just means it needs to be part of a balanced, intentional approach to health and sexual vitality. The golden rule I always share with my patients is this: moderation is medicine, excess is the enemy. A single glass of wine, ideally 5 ounces, is enough to unlock the benefits we've discussed, from improved blood flow to enhanced nitric oxide production to hormonal support. More than that, and you may actually reverse those gains. Too much alcohol can numb the nervous system, lower testosterone, raise blood pressure, and interrupt the erection process altogether. But in small, steady amounts, wine becomes a tool, one that gently supports circulation, relieves tension, and encourages physical intimacy without overwhelming your system. The best time to drink is with an evening meal, when the body is already in a more relaxed state. Pairing wine with foods rich in zinc, magnesium, and healthy fats like leafy greens, salmon, or nuts can amplify its effects. And staying hydrated is essential, especially if you're on medications for blood pressure or heart health. Water supports liver function, keeps your blood thin and moving, and helps your body metabolize the beneficial compounds in wine more effectively. Some men also find that incorporating light daily movement like walking after dinner magnifies the circulatory impact of wine over time. These small lifestyle choices stacked together can create a noticeable improvement in sexual performance, energy, and confidence. But wine is just one part of the equation. There's something even more powerful that happens when you combine physical improvement with emotional connection, confidence, and a deeper sense of purpose. Let's bring it all together. Conclusion: by now you've learned something that most men over 60 never hear from their doctors, that pleasure, intimacy, and sexual vitality don't have to fade with age. In fact, they can deepen, and something as simple and enjoyable as wine can be part of that renewal. Not as a vice, but as a vessel for health, connection, and confidence. You've seen how Pinot Noir can strengthen your heart and help restore blood flow. How Cabernet Sauvignon improves circulation so your erections can return with strength and reliability. How Shiraz can reignite testosterone, that crucial spark that fuels your drive. How Rosé, subtle yet powerful, supports blood vessel health while calming the nervous system. And how Malbec can lift not only your libido, but your sense of ease and presence, especially when stress has taken a toll. But beyond the science, beyond the antioxidants and polyphenols, there's a more personal truth at this stage of life. It's not about chasing youth. It's about reclaiming your power, your connection, and your right to feel alive. The ability to be intimate, to feel wanted, to express love physically. Those aren't just bonuses. They're part of your wholeness. As a man, I've worked with thousands of men in their 60s, 70s, and beyond, and the most remarkable transformations aren't just physical. They're emotional. When a man realizes he's not broken, not past his prime, when he begins to feel desire again, not only from within, but also reflected back from his partner. That's when something truly changes. That's when he starts living again. Wine isn't a miracle cure, but used wisely with intention, it becomes part of a larger, richer picture, a symbol of pleasure, health, and reclaiming what time may have dulled but never truly took away. You are not done. You are not too old. And the best chapters of connection, strength and intimacy may still be ahead. All you have to do is open the door and maybe uncork the bottle. If this message spoke to you or to the man you love, don't keep it to yourself. Like, share, and comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your experiences, or even just a simple, "I'm ready." Let's keep this conversation going and keep the fire alive.